For the record, this matter is before the court for reviewing mother's parenting time. The hearing is being conducted via Zoom. President Attorney Russell Smith, representing the plaintiff father, James Rose Jr. Mr. Rose is present this morning with Mr. Smith. And ma'am, you are Jessica Clare. Ms. Clare is present. The parties have conferred this morning with Mr. Walker from the court. Mr. Walker has advised. Are you still there, Ms. Clare?
She's there, but she doesn't advise.
Can you hear the court?
Yeah, I can hear it. It keeps cutting in and out.
That's fine, as long as you can hear the court.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Walker has provided the court with fine recommendation that mother's parenting time shall continue to be supervised at Family Counseling and Shelter Services, knowing that parenting time has not yet begun, and the court is painfully aware there's a waiting list, which is most unfortunate. It's also recommended that mother shall continue to complete her parenting classes. All communication between the parents shall be through app close. And the parties will appear back for this court to review parenting time January 23rd, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. That is the recommendation. Mr. Smith, is this recommendation agreeable with your client this morning?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Clare, do you understand the recommendation?
I do. And talking to him, I know I won't be able to get what I was hoping for, so just gonna settle for it.
Are you still residing with Tyler Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, this all was prompted by the allegation that Mr. Johnson assaulted Hunter. And of course, as I recall, you denied that. Mr. Smith, have you been able to secure any documentation from Lucas County verifying all this? All we have are just their allegations. And it's difficult for this court to continue to deny parenting time of 11 and 6-year-old with their mom, particularly with the holidays.
Yes, Judge. There are many other problems other than the fact that Ms. Clare is in a domestic violence relationship. There are many, many, many other problems. She was given a chance to move forward. She did not even start the family shelter services over the last month. She hasn't completed the SMILE program. She hasn't contacted the agencies in Ohio and Michigan. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't even signed up for the supervised parenting time.
The judge knows why I had to get a reliable car. He's the one that's going to get a reliable vehicle first.
I'm sorry, hold on, Ms. Clare, hold on just a minute. Don't interrupt, Mr. Smith. I'm finished and I'll let you respond, okay?
Yes, Judge, and during a recent telephone conversation with her children, she was heard saying, "TJ, stop hitting me," and an audible slap occurred while she was talking to her children, which resulted in one of the children crying, I believe. So this is an ongoing thing, Judge. Mr. Johnson's own parenting time is supervised. He's got a bench warrant out for his arrest. This is a mess. And there have been multiple reports that Ms. Clare and Mr. Johnson are actively using cocaine. So it's more than just an isolated incident. This is something that's just ongoing, Your Honor. I had hoped that Ms. Clare would have done something in the last 2 months to move the meter forward, but she has done absolutely nothing.
Ms. Clare, your response?
For one, Tyler's not around when I contact my children, so that's not true. 2, I talked to you last time about my car. I get my car back this week, finally, so I can start my parenting classes because I did not have a reliable ride to get to and from. My parenting classes was on hold because you have to have at least 2 parents to start the class. It just started yesterday. I had my first class yesterday. You can speak to the lady at the office. James can call as well. It just started. I'm doing everything I can with not being in control.
Okay, we keep losing Miss Clare.
I'm trying the best I can.
Okay.
Everything's going as planned. Like I said, I don't have full control over all these issues. I can only take it as it comes.
Well, you do have control of your relationship with this Tyler Johnson. As I'll reiterate what I said before, is you need to determine your priorities. Your children versus your
my
boyfriend.
sons. And my boyfriend hasn't been an issue other than what everybody keeps saying, and there's no proof of any of what all these people are saying. That boy has not hurt me, so the crap needs to stop. I'm tired of the damn lies because he's trying to keep my kids from me. That's wrong. He doesn't even see his
obviously-
kids right now because of his new job.
Okay, this court wants nothing more than to reunify you with your children. And so obviously, when you complete the parenting class, you want to get a letter to that effect from the person who's looking to handling, helping you with this parenting class. Mr. Smith, was there any discussion about FaceTime, contact with mom? And obviously, of course, concerned there should be contact between mom and the children over Christmas, even though it might be supervised.
How and when are we going to be able to do that and where?
So what's the Ms. Claire, what do you propose if the court would like there to be some parenting? Do you see your children over Christmas?
Yes, I'd love to. I
Okay.
have a real
Well, let's talk this morning about who can supervise, where and who will supervise.
well, James knows
Judge, we,
Kelly. It's my boys'
Judge, we-
godmother. She can do it, but we need a location if James isn't comfortable with them coming to my apartment.
Well, obviously Tyler Johnson cannot be present.
We can do for supervised visits when he has to have them in the facility.
Ms. Claire, are you still there, Ms. Claire?
Yeah, like I said, it's cutting in and out.
Okay, maybe we
How much-
can give you a phone number, Ms. Claire, because we're losing you. You're coming in and out. You got a weak internet. What if we give you a
I
phone
just
number? You can
stopped the
call
video.
in.
That should
It'll be
help.
much stronger. We can have a constructive discussion. I have other matters waiting this morning. It's been too difficult to communicate.
I stopped the
So do you
video,
have-
so now audio.
Do you have a piece of paper and a pen, Miss Claire?
Yep.
Okay, I want you to dial this phone number, and then when it prompts you, you're gonna then enter the court through my D number. Here's the phone number, okay?
Christ.
Mr. Smith, when she comes back in, I'm gonna put you in the break room, talk with Mr. Walker again this morning. The court would like to see if we can talk through some supervised parenting time for Christmas with mom and the children.
So I'm not going anywhere else with that facility.
yeah, we'll talk about it. Thank you, Judge.
I am, Your Honor.
Do you mind talk with Bryce? We gave mom a phone number to come in. Court would like to see if we can talk about some supervised parenting time for Christmas for the children who are 11 and 6.
We can do that.
Maybe it's a aunt or an uncle, grandparent that provides some supervision with the provision that Tyler Johnson not be present.
Was physically assaulted by her boyfriend while she was having a chat with her children. The slap that she received from Mr. Johnson when she told him to stop hitting her was heard by the children. And during another conversation, she detailed to the children an assaultive incident by Mr. Johnson, which also upset them, leaving one of them in tears.
Crying
So-
herself to sleep.
So I think that with
That's
that
not-
said, that I would want a provision in the order indicating that Ms. Claire is not to talk to the children regarding her being abused by her boyfriend. That's not fit conversation for the kids, Judge. So I would want that in there. And obviously, she's not to consume any alcohol or drugs. If the supervisor believes she's under the influence, the parenting time should cease immediately.
That's implied, Mr. Smith. If in fact the supervisors find that they arrive, that they're at the home and Miss Claire is under the influence, absolutely, the children can be taken back to dad.
Very good.
Yeah.
And,
I'm not to not
So-
see my children. I've been for over a year to see my kids.
all right, so will Mr. Rose, will he transport the children to Miss Claire's home on that date from 2 to 5?
Or
Or
the
will one of the supervisors
supervisor,
do that?
the supervisor, if a supervisor is available,
Okay,
if it has to be done at the intake system, then I will get them up there to the intake system so that they can be seen by her.
I'm
That's
sorry,
more
what
like
about an intake system? Hold on just a minute, Miss Claire.
If it comes down to that none of them people that were on that list for the supervised visits, if none of them can do that, then it was recommended that we would contact the intake system, the parenting intake system.
Family counseling
Family
and
counseling.
shelter services.
That- yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm confused here. We're talking about December 24th from 2 to 5, so children can have Christmas with mother. And
Yes,
it's
Right.
supervised by Miss Raleigh, Miss Claire, or Tara Howard. The
yes.
court's question
Mr.
is, will they transport the children to Miss Claire's home, or will you do that?
They will do that. If they can't,
Okay,
do-
okay.
If they,
Yeah.
I'll have my
So-
car, so I.
Just a minute, Miss Claire, just a minute, please. So Mr. Rose, you'll reach out to one of them, correct? And see who's
Yes.
available. from 2 to 5?
Yep.
And you have an address for where Miss Claire resides, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and if Mr. Johnson is there, then they don't enter the home. If
Yep,
Miss
correct.
Claire's under the influence, they can leave.
Very good, Judge.
All right, so Miss Claire, do you understand the recommendation for this Christmas parenting time? You still want to work with these other issues? And yes, there's going to be you've got a lot of work to do in order to maintain some normal parenting time with these children. But this is just December 24th, 2 to 5. Make sure you don't talk about this case. Just tell your children that you miss them and you love them. Make sure you have Christmas gifts for them. They're at a tender age right now. The court wants these children to have Christmas with their mother.
Yep.
So no alcohol use, no drugs. Do not communicate with the children regarding this case or Mr. Johnson.
Absolutely not.
Do you have any questions?
No, I really appreciate this. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, so either Miss Raleigh will be there, Miss Claire, or Miss Howard with the children.
Yep.
Hopefully one of them will be available. If not, Mr. Rose will need to come up with another counsel because the court does want this to happen. So hopefully one of them will assist. All right, anything further, Mr. Smith? And of course, lastly, of course, we will review mom's parenting time and her progress on January 23rd, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Anything further, Mr. Smith?
No, Your Honor. You have a good holiday.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith, Mr. Rose, Miss Claire. That concludes the matter. Copy this order we mailed to you, Miss Claire.
Thank you.
Okay, you can zoom out. See their mom on Christmas. A therapeutic parenting time between the dad and his 16-year-old daughter. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. Present is Attorney Maria Zagorski, representing the plaintiff father Matthew Hobson. Mr. Hobson is present. Is Mickey Fonts? Oh, there's Miss Fonts. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Of course, well aware of the challenges in the past. The any event, the court has received fine recommendation this morning from Miss Patrick from in front of the court. Is that fathers shall have parenting time every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The parties shall meet at Culver's Restaurant on 1223. The minor child shall be interviewed by the front of the court. The front of the court will make a recommendation regarding parenting time thereafter. And the parties will occur back for his court to review parenting time on February 6, 2024 at 10 a.m. That is the recommendation. Of course, this recommendation, well, Miss Bonds is going to drop off her daughter. Will mother and daughter be joining dad for lunch? What is the intent of the parties?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't understand the recommendation. I think this was Ms. Fonce's idea, and I don't understand how it would work. The child, as recently as last week, wouldn't get out of the car. My client went to family counseling and shelter services. Brooklyn doesn't, if Ms. Fonce is telling her to spend time with her dad, Brooklyn's not hearing it because my client still has not spent time with this child. So 3 hours at Culver's appears to me to be another game by Ms. Fonce.
And if Brooklyn doesn't want to get out of the car, Ms. Fonce can sit there in the parking lot till 3 o'clock. We're not going to have this child drive the bus. Ms. Sikorsky, is your client agreeable with this recommendation?
I mean, I'll do whatever.
He is very much committed to having a relationship with his daughter and has been fighting for that for a year and a half. And I don't have any confidence in Ms. Fonce's ideas, her willingness to facilitate that relationship. This just appears to be another game. If this child won't get out of the car in a safe environment like family counseling and shelter services, I don't see her getting out of the car for 3 hours at Culver's. So I don't understand the game. And I'm afraid I'm setting my client up to fail by saying, yeah, we'll do it. I mean, he'll try it, but to what end?
Right, Ms. Fonce, do you understand the recommendation?
I do, but can we be clear? I believe Miss Patrick said 1 to 3 p.m. and I have
Yes, I'm
church
sorry.
today.
If I misstated, it does. The recommendation is every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That's correct.
Okay. Was under the impression that she would be taking herself. I have 2 other children at home. My husband works. I don't have time to be chauffeuring her around when she has her own means of transportation.
Well, give me a time that you're available that you can take her because the court's not confident that she's going to drive herself. Her mother needs to encourage it and make it happen. So tell me, Ms. Fonce, you available then from 12 to 2?
I mean,
3 to 5? 4 to 6? Ms. Fonce, you're going to take her there. You're going to sit in the parking lot until she either gets out of the vehicle or wait until those 2 hours pass.
Okay, I mean, can we talk about what had just recently happened over the last 2 weeks? So why she, I mean, even now will not go? I mean, he just physically assaulted his 14-year-old child. CPS is involved.
That's not true. That is
the
not
police-
true.
Okay,
It is true.
Was Brooklyn assaulted, or was she present?
She was not,
Okay.
but
well,
this
okay,
is
so
happening in his presence. I mean, he's.
she
the
should
police
not,
is-
that should not have any effect upon,
I mean,
Brooklyn.
that's
She was
her
not
sister,
present.
Your
She was not the
Honor.
victim of the assault.
That's her sister.
I didn't assault nobody.
The police
Okay.
showed up at his house twice. We have the
Because
police
you
report.
guys called that.
Ms. Wantz, okay, hold on, we're gonna give this a try. Is the, when's the next scheduled session with Family County Child Services? You're still scheduling that every week?
There are no further schedules, Your Honor.
Why not, Ms. Patrick?
The agency contacted me yesterday, stated that Mr. Hobson did not appear the 15 minutes like he was supposed to. He became aggressive with the staff. They are no longer willing to offer him services.
What?
Right, Ms. Gorski, you have to work on that with Mr. Hobson. That's unfortunate because otherwise the court would continue that.
Hold on.
That's an absolute
Matt,
lie.
Matt, hold on. Just let me do the
So maybe you
talking.
can talk to the agency, Mr. Gorski, and
Yes.
see if you can address that. I don't know whether the agency will do that if they will not do it. Right, so let's go back to this recommendation. Ms. Wantz, when are you available to drive Brooklyn to Culver's? What time on Sunday?
I could probably do 1:30.
Don't say probably, tell me what time.
I could do
You can take
1:30.
Driver there. I'm sorry?
I could do 1:30 to be safe
So
because we
1:30
don't
to
get out of
3:30?
church till 12:31. So yes, we can do 1:30 to 3:30.
Okay. And so you're gonna drive, Ms. Patrick, I think real specific, we'll change the time, 1:30 to 3:30. Ms. Fonce will drive Brooklyn to the Culver's restaurant and remain there until Brooklyn gets out of the vehicle or until 3:30, whichever occurs first. Do you understand that, Ms. Fonce?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so if she won't get out, then you just remain there in the parking lot until 3:30. And it'll be
Okay.
every Sunday thereafter until we come back on February 6th. You need to encourage this. Make it work, Ms. Fonce. Come on.
Your Honor,
Brooklyn needs
it's
that
hard
relationship with her
when
father.
it's hard when he's, physically, mentally, psychologically abusive. I
Okay,
mean,
let's
and
be at a
he's
public
even
place.
aggressive with the staff at family counseling. I mean, he can't control himself, Your Honor.
All right, that's another issue that unfortunately, if Mr. Hobson has created that issue, then that's going to obviously limit his ability to have supervised parenting time in that location. Is Brooklyn still engaged in counseling?
Yes, Your Honor. Every other week.
Okay. All right, so that should continue. Ms. Skorsky, I don't know if Mr. Hobson's reached out to the counselor to see if there's any recommendations he can have as a father to facilitate this relationship. If not, the court would encourage that. All right, anything further this morning, Mr. Skorsky or Ms. Fonce?
No, Your Honor. Actually, I do have one thing. I will be unavailable December 3rd, which is a Sunday. I will be out of town. That is my birthday. We will not be even in the state.
Okay, so you want to make it December 2nd then, Saturday?
We will not be in town that weekend.
Okay.
Friday, Monday?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we will be out of town.
How about Monday?
How about Monday, December 4th?
We can do Monday, December 4th. It wouldn't be at 1. She don't get out of school till, I could do, let me look at her schedule real quick.
Well, I don't want to make things too confusing. We'll just, we'll make an exception. There'll be no parenting time on December 3rd. So every Sunday, except December 3rd, 1:30 to 3:30, Culver's Restaurant, commencing this Sunday, November 26th. Mother, Miss Flance, shall drive minor child Brooklyn to the Culver's Restaurant and remain there until either 3:30 or the minor child goes into the restaurant and has some contact with her father.
Your Honor, I would ask that the matter not be referred for the front of the court's investigation and recommendation. I think this court has a pretty good handle on what's going on here, and I don't know what Ms. Scott's recommendation could do to add to the picture. We know that Brooklyn is going to say that she doesn't want to see her father. That's evident. So I would ask that we not waste the court resources, Ms. Scott's time, my client's time. It just doesn't seem necessary.
Ms. Patrick?
Your Honor, that's up to the court. At this point in these cases, when we have both parents disagreeing on what is occurring, it is standard for the child to be interviewed. She is 16 years of age, but I will leave that up to the discretion of the court.
We have documentation from Family Counseling and Shelter Services about what's happening at parenting time. It's not happening. So having the child vilify my client is not going to do anything to repair that relationship.
I would strongly object to that statement by Ms. Zagorski. No one on my staff vilifies any litigant.
I'm talking about the child vilifying her father.
Ms. Fonts, what's your position in terms of having Brooklyn interviewed by the front of the court?
I believe that she should be. I strongly believe she should be. She's almost 17. She's not 5. She's went through a lot, and I believe her voice should be heard.
I think her voice is her mother, Matthew. I think her voice is her mother's voice, and we've heard Ms. Fonts' opinion. That's the problem in this case.
Ms. Patrick, has your office received any reports from the child's counselor? Because the court doesn't know what's going on in this child's mind. There could be adamant refusal to get out of a vehicle in a supervised therapeutic setting to see her dad. I'm not sure what's going on in her mind.
I did not get any reports from her individual counselor, Your Honor. I only got them from the supervisor. And I did forward the last report to Ms. Zagorski. I just emailed it to her.
I see that. Thank you.
Who would do the interview? Would it be Ms. Scott or would you do it, or Ms. LaPrade, Ms. Patrick?
Well, I believe it would be Ms. Scott, because I believe Ms. Zagorski's client has an issue with me, so I would not be doing the interview.
All right. Court doesn't see any no downside to having the child interviewed. She is 16. May assist the court, may not. But the court will adopt a recommendation, Ms. Zagorski, the child be interviewed by the front of the court, make a recommendation regarding future parenting time. We'll have that in front of all of us when we come back on February 6th. Ms. Patrick, you just modified the recommendation to indicate, again, parenting time 1:30 to 3:30 on Sundays, except December 3rd.
I have made that modification, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you want to voir dire Mr. Hobson at all, Ms. Zagorski?
No, thank you. I'll follow up with him separately.
And hopefully you can maybe address the situation with Family Counseling and Shelter Services, because if that was addressed, the court would order that continue as well.
Yeah, I think I know what happened, Judge. My client is so incredibly frustrated that I think when he expresses his frustration, it's perceived as anger. Well, he is angry. He's very, very frustrated. So I will talk to him. I will talk to Family Counseling and Shelter Services. Maybe we can get that restarted too.
See, they said I showed up late.
Response, anything further?
Matt, hold on.
No, Your Honor. No, I don't know if we discussed a date for Brooklyn's interview now or.
Oh, you'll be notified by the front of the court.
Okay.
So we'll see everyone back. We'll put on our docket February 6th at 10 a.m. to review parenting time.
Thank you.
Okay, that'll conclude this matter. I can zoom out.
Thank
So
you.
Scott Apperson?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Apperson is being brought before this court by Ms. Hicks, the attorney for the North Carolina Court. For this Zoom hearing, also present appears to be the plaintiff Amanda Reimer. Good morning, Ms. Reimer.
Good morning.
Mr. Anderson, Mr. Apperson, it's never good when you're brought before this court. That means you're not working with or cooperating with the front of the court. All right, we have current address. Ms. Hicks, what's the situation with Mr. Apperson?
Your Honor, in this case, there's a current monthly support obligation of $533.75 a month. The total arrears balance as of today's date is $19,481.08. The last payment received was July 18th of this year. We were last here on my show cause docket on September 26th. At that time, Mr. Apperson was ordered to apply to a minimum of 5 jobs per week and provide documentation to the front of the court of those employment efforts. We returned today. We've not received any documentation from Mr. Apperson, and he's not currently employed. He does have a previous finding of contempt from February 5th of 2020. It is a first finding, and he still has 45 days hanging over his head.
Why has the Attorney General not picked up this case and then charged Mr. Apperson with felony non-support? $19,000 in arrears?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. He had been working earlier this year and payments were coming in. And so that might have been, if at the time they're reviewing it, if payments are coming in steadily through income withholding, they might choose not to, but at this time now, we've not received anything since July, and here it is the end of November.
The court does see this court's order of September 26th. Mr. Abson was ordered to apply minimum 5 jobs a week and provide proof of that to the front of the court. You received nothing. Is that correct, Ms. Hicks?
That's correct, Your Honor. I don't have any documentation of any job applications.
All right, Mr. Apperson, the Monroe County Jail serves a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. What do you? What's your response to these allegations?
I'm getting jobs. I got to go Monday to 1, and then I have another one on Wednesday.
Well, that's Mr. Apperson. Talk is cheap. You were ordered back in September, almost or 2 months ago, to provide the front of the court proof that you made 5 employment contacts per week. You've not done that.
Your Honor, I didn't know how to submit them. I mean, I don't know.
You mail them or you drop them off in front of the court. Right, Mr. Abson? The court's going to order you personally appear in this court tomorrow at 11:15. Bring your toothbrush with you, or I'm suggesting you there bring $1,000 cash. If you want to be home for Thanksgiving, bring $1,000 cash. Otherwise, bring your toothbrush. If you fail to appear tomorrow, I'm going to issue a bench warrant for your arrest, and you're going to serve a significant jail sentence. So if you want to minimize your time in jail, Mr. Abson, appear tomorrow at 11:15, Braunlich courtroom, 4th floor of the Monroe County Courthouse. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
This way, reach out to family and friends, Mr. Apperson. You want to be home for Thanksgiving? You need a $1,000 payment to the front of the court before you come up here at 11:15 tomorrow. And if you fail to appear, the court's going to impose a greater sentence than what the court would otherwise do. So it's critical that you appear. Anything further, Ms. Hicks?
Nothing further, Your Honor. I'll prepare that order.
All right, Mr. Apperson, we'll see you tomorrow then, 11:15 personally.
All right,
4th floor of the courthouse. And see if we get that $1,000 together. Ms. Reimer, do you have any questions?
You.
I'm sorry?
I do not. Thank you.
All right. You can appear tomorrow if you wish. Not required.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You can both zoom out.